Hello there, book friends, and welcome back to Books and Tea Time. Today we have a very exciting video because I'm doing a book haul. Honestly, I think my last book haul was my birthday book haul. I don't remember, but it's been a while since I've done a proper book haul. And these ones I actually purchased myself, so it's not even a birthday book haul. This is the first time I've really gone to a bookstore and gone crazy in a while, but actually we went to multiple bookstores. So a couple weeks ago, my friends and I went on a little book crawl and we went to 9 different local independent bookstores. Some of them new books, some of them used books, some of them a mix of the two. And we went a little crazy. I got 11 books, and then I also have one that I pre-ordered, so technically 12, and then one that I got for free that my friend was just unhauling and gave to me. So we have a total of 13 books to talk about today, I think. And then also I got a little thing that was not a book that is cute that I'm going to show off as well. And also I wanted to shout out my friend who got me this Astarion shirt. Astarion, I never know how to say it. I am definitely going to be reading this when I read the arc for the new book about him by T. Kingfisher that I did get the arc for on NetGalley. So I'm very, very excited to read that in my Astarion shirt. First things first, I want to show you my non-book item. I got this little itty bitty crochet planter that has a little cat face on it, but yeah, it's completely hand crocheted and I just think it's the cutest thing in the whole world. And I'm gonna put it on my desk at work, but it's been sitting with this stack of books because I've been meaning to do this video, but I just thought it was so cute. And I'm really bad at keeping real plants alive, so I think that this gives me, the vibe of a plant person without having the stress of being a plant person and keeping them alive. Anyway, let's jump into the books. So the first store, I only got one book and the planter. The first store that we went to, and I got The River Has Roots by Amal El-Mohtar. You'll notice that I think almost all of these are novellas. That's a little bit on accident, a little bit not. Also, some of these were books that I had read previously that I wanted to buy a physical copy of. Either I listened to the audiobook or read the ebook through the library and I wanted to own a physical copy. And then some of them I have not read yet and were on my radar to pick up. This is one of the ones that I have not read yet, and I'm very excited because I've heard fantastic things about it. It is, I think, a fantasy novella. I've heard the audiobook is really fantastic because it has singing song stuff in the audiobook, so I'll probably do a dual listening and reading situation, but there's also some beautiful illustrations in the physical copy, and so when I saw it I just couldn't resist to grab it. Also, the cover is so pretty. But I've had a couple people read this and tell me that it was really good and they think that I'll like it. Okay, the next bookstore that we went to, I got 3 books and I also got a zine. I forgot about this actually. So this is a bonus thing, but they had these little zines for sale at the one bookstore. And so I got How to Resist Amazon and Why, which is this cute little zine. And so I haven't been purchasing from Amazon, I think the past 2 years, but I just really like the essence of this kind of resistance work. And so I wanted to grab it for myself to read. And then we have a zine library at work, so I wanted to donate it to that after I read it. On the back it says it's from Microcosm Pub and it's written by Danny Kane, owner of Raven Bookstore in Lawrence, Kansas. And I feel like I don't often see zines at bookstores, so I was really excited when we saw one. My friend got one too, so we might exchange them and cross-read them. You may know this about me if you've been watching my channel for a while, but I collect editions of Frankenstein, and I saw this really cool, smaller paperback. It's got this nice green font on it, which I really like, and it's very compact, nice little shape at the one bookstore, so I just grabbed it because I thought that would be a good one to add to my collection. I don't know what I'm up to as far as editions, but I'm nearing 20, I think. So then we got 2 novellas that I've read and have been on my half price books wish list. Usually if I read a book audibly or digitally from the library and I want a copy, I just put it in my notes app, and then every time I go to a used bookstore, half price books or whatever, I look for them just so that I can slowly gather them. So I had that list with me when we went to these bookstores, and I got a lot of them for that reason. And this is the first one, Ring Shout. I read this earlier this year and loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It's by P. Djèlí Clark. And this is a historical fantasy sci-fi, but I would say more historical horror with some like supernatural, fantastical elements to it. And it is basically, what if the KKK was infiltrated by demons that were masquerading as members of the KKK, and our main characters are hunters of these demons among these hate groups. And I loved it. I thought it was so good. I did the audio, and the audio was really good, but I really want to reread it and annotate it at some point. And because I loved it so much, I like to have books that I want to recommend on my shelves so that I can lend them to people and also just like use them to have them physically when I'm recommending things in these videos. Then I also got the 3rd installment in the Sworn Soldier series by T. Kingfisher, What Stalks the Deep. I have the first 2, so this completes my little collection, which is very exciting. It also has like not cute, they're actually quite freaky, but the little illustrations on the end pages. I've been waiting to find all 3 of these in hardback, and I finally have all 3 of them. Yeah, so this is the 3rd installment in that series. I really liked it. It's not my favorite. I think the first one is still my favorite, but I love the cover. I love T. Kingfisher, so I'm just hoping to slowly collect all of their books that I've read, and I have a good bit of them, but this was one of the ones so that I complete the Sworn Soldier series of the books that are currently out. I think based on the end of this one, we're getting at least one more, but I hope she continues them. After that, we went to our next store, and I got 2 books at the next place. One of them was on my list, and one of them is one that I've been meaning to pick up and read. First, we have the one that I've been meaning to pick up and read. I got the 10th anniversary edition of Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. It's so weird and freaky looking. I love it. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like a little like boar creature that's been like stretched really weird. I love the little reflective guys. I don't know. I saw this edition, and I also really like the other editions with like the big block letters on them that I've seen a lot of places, but I saw this one and I was like, okay, I think it might be time for me to grab it. But I have heard fantastic things about this. Everybody that I know that has read it loves it so much. And I think it's also, I don't know if it has mushroom horror specifically or if it's more like just ecological horror, but something in that vein, which I'm really excited about. So I am hoping to pick this up very, very soon. And then I finally tracked down a copy of Spread Me. I read the arc of this when I got it a couple months before it released in the fall of last year, and this made it into my top 5 books of 2025. This was a wild time. I love Sarah Gailey. If you've been around my channel for a while, you will know that I love them so much, and their freaky little mind. And this is a erotic horror novel, and really I think it's based on or inspired by the movie The Thing, which I have not seen, so that doesn't really help me at all, but if that means anything to you. Katie Roberts says, a pure, giddy delight of an erotic horror story. It will leave you scandalized, terrified, and delighted, and I could not agree more. And look at this cover. It's just like so freaky and gross, and I love it. This is one of those ones where you kind of just have to like give up your trust and heart to the author and go on a wild journey with them. But in my opinion, it's worth it. It was so good. This one is another one that I read very, very recently and absolutely loved. So when I saw it at the bookstore, I couldn't resist. And that is The Very Definition of Love by Sophia Benoit. This is such a good historical romance. I absolutely loved it. It is a little bit chunky, but honest to God, like you're just reading it so fast, and I was so invested in the characters and the story that I wish that we got even more time with the characters. But this is about our main character, Harriet Bancroft, and she is, you know, a spinster wallflower who is writing her own dictionary of modern slang and like naughty words, and she ends up caught in a precarious situation with this famous rake, and they have to get, you know, fake married, or like married for real, but like a marriage of convenience or circumstance, I guess. And then they end up falling in love, and it was so cute, so funny. And I loved both of our main characters. I had a great time with it. So I highly recommend this. If you like Tessa Dare, if you like Lisa Kleypas, this one was a really fun time. And I enjoyed it a lot. Okay, next we have some nonfiction books. First, Sister Outsider by Audre Lorde. It has this blue sticker on it because this one was from a used bookstore. So I'm going to have to figure out how to gently peel that off because I don't really like when there are stickers on the books. This is just one that I have on my TBR, and so I wanted to own it physically so that when I do end up picking it up, I can annotate it. And I really love this cover of it. So when I saw it at the bookstore, I figured I would grab it. Yeah, this is just a collection of Audre Lorde's essays and speeches. And I've read certain essays of Audre Lorde's in college, but I haven't read any of her other work since, you know, graduating, and just more like for my own pleasure reading. So I'm excited to have that. Then I have two books I have a nonfiction book club that I run. And so I grabbed our, I think, September and November nonfiction book club picks. So in September, we are going to be reading Before Gender, Lost Stories from Trans History, 1850 to 1950 by Eli Ehrlich. I am so excited about this one. I think that this is going to be really illuminating, and I love the cover. Well, also not too long. I try to pick nonfiction that's not super, super long, just because nonfiction in general can be, you know, like a little intimidating and dense, especially for some folks. So I try to pick stuff that's not too long, but I'm very much looking forward to this. It says, highlighting influential individuals from 1850 to 1950, renowned activist and educator Eli Ehrlich shares 30 remarkable stories from romance to rebellion and murder and mystery to murder. These narratives chronicle the grit, joy, and survival of trans people long before gender became an everyday word. A much-needed intervention into a polarizing topic. Before Gender will upend everything you've been told about transgender history. So, much-needed discussion and perspective that I'm excited to dive into and discuss at book club. Then in October or November, I can't remember specifically, we're reading Our Migrant Souls, a meditation on race and the meanings and myths of Latino by Hector Tobar. The back says, Latino is the most open-ended and loosely defined of the major race categories in the United States. Our Migrant Souls is the first account of the historical and social forces that define Latino identity. Again, one that is incredibly timely. I was trying to find a book that I thought could capture the perspective and guide our discussion in the wake of, you know, what's going on with ICE and our neighbors being kidnapped and detained in concentration camps and deported. So I thought that this would be like I said, a really great one to guide discussion. At the same bookstore that I got Before Gender and Our Migrant Souls, I also pre-ordered my copy of Daggerbound by T. Kingfisher. I talked about this in my mid-year freakout tag, but Daggerbound is definitely up there for my favorite book that I've read this year. It's the sequel to Swordheart. It's a fantasy romance series, and Daggerbound was absolutely exceptional. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on it, you can go watch my mid-year freakout tag, but I pre-ordered a copy of it, and it has pink sprayed edges and a purple cover, so that will be arriving in the mail probably sometime in the next couple of weeks. Okay, after that, we have the one book that my friend gave me that she was unhauling, Never Whistle at Night, an Indigenous dark fiction anthology edited by Shane Hawk and Theodore Van Alst Jr. I read this last year and absolutely loved it, and I've been meaning to pick up a copy, and so when she was unhauling hers, I was like, I'll take that for free. Heck yeah. And the sequel, well, I don't know if it's considered a sequel, but they're doing a volume 2 of this that comes out in September. I have not read it yet, but I am super, super, super excited for it. It's called Back for Blood. And then last but not least, I have a really fun one that I wanted to show you. So I did a blind date with a book at this one romance store that we went to. And so it comes with a bunch of like goodies tucked into the top. I don't know if you can see, you get like a highlighter and some stickers. So I've been waiting very, very, very patiently to open this on camera with you guys because I wanted to do it live for you. But it is a romance book and I'll read you the little things. I don't know if you can tell because of the floral wrapping paper, but there's little like buzzwords and stuff written on the front. So it says boss employee, rom-com, size difference, monsters, exclamation point. I actually had 2 of these blind date with the books in my hand and I went up to the person at the cash register and I was like, I'm really torn. I don't know which one to pick. And so they gave me like a series of questions and I answered them and they told me to take this one. So we'll see what's in here. But okay, ready? We're gonna open it together. First, I'm gonna pull out the goodies here. We've got this really gorgeous bookmark that's giving like medieval kind of romance vibes. Then we've got a couple stickers. This one says introverted but willing to discuss spicy books. Very cute. I do need new stickers for my e-reader because my ID sticker melted off when I was reading by the pool a couple weeks ago, so I need to do new stickers on the back. This one says Midnight Readers Book Club. Very cute. Then we've got Ask Me What I'm Reading. Very cute, very appropriate. I will always tell people if they ask me. And then this one says Sorry, I am fully booked. Very cute. You also get a full thing of stickies. How cute. And these look like the brand that I like, which are the transparent ones. And you get a nice little green one, which is good because I don't think I have any green right now. Then you also get a highlighter from Mr. Pen, another green one, so it matches, which I love. And then I think that's everything that's in here, but let's start opening it. Okay, I have literally never seen this book in my life, but I love the cover. Oh my gosh, that's super fun. Okay, so it's Meetings with the Minotaur, Love at Labyrinth Solutions, Book 1 by M.A. Wardell. This is what the cover looks like. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. I knew when it said monsters on the cover that it was going to be something a little crazy, but that's one of the reasons why I picked it. I was like, it'll be super fun. Let's see what the back says. Bighorns, big secrets, and even bigger chemistry is the tagline on the back. Jamie Torres was just trying to survive the mailroom until one small lie lands him at a high-stakes meeting with the dangerously hot CEO of Labyrinth Solutions. Magnus is powerful, controlled, and absolutely off-limits. He also happens to be a minotaur with horns Jamie can't stop staring at and thighs that should be illegal in corporate America. Oh my. Well, this is going to be a grand old time, I imagine, and not long at all. So fun, so crazy. Love that so much. Really quick, before we wrap up the video, I want to know if you want me to do a reading vlog for any of these 3 and which you think I should read first. So we've got The River Has Roots, Annihilation, and Meetings with the Minotaur. Those are the 3 that I have not read yet and that are also not nonfiction. So I think these are going to be my 3. So which of these 3 do you think I should read first? And if I read them, do you want a reading vlog for them? Because I would be happy to do. Honestly, I could probably squeeze all 3 of these into one reading vlog because they're all very short, but very, very different vibes for all 3 of them. So I don't know. That is the end of the video. Thank you so much for coming by my channel today. It means the world to me. Love you all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if that's your jam. And I hope to see you in my next video. Happy reading, happy writing, and happy living. Peace out.